All right, guys, I have some absolutely major breaking news here for you. And I'm going to warn you in advance, this is literally hard to watch. This is hard to watch. This is super, super ugly, but it's real. And people need to know that this is what's happening with their tax money in their name. This is what the Trump regime is doing, okay? So there was a murder. There's no other way to refer to this other than murder. There was a ICE murder where an ICE Gestapo thug shot a woman in the face when she was trying to drive away because she was being harassed and pestered by agents who were, Lord only knows what, trying to arrest her and send her to a concentration camp, trying to rip apart her family, trying to fucking assault her and throw her on the ground. Well, now we know they skipped all of that and went right to murder. So I'm going to warn you in advance, this is a hard video to watch, but I think you guys should see it. You're not going to actually see the blood in this video, but you're going to hear the shots, and the shots did result in a woman being absolutely murdered. So let's take a look, and then we'll have a lot to say about it. So ICE pulls up. One ICE officer gets out of the car. Now, I should point out, right before this, another car, like, U-turned and got out of there, right? And this woman is trying to do the same thing. Here we go. No! So I don't know if you heard that. One of the ICE officers said, get out of the fucking car, okay?
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my...
That was murder. So watch. Watch what happens.
No!
She backs up. She's getting ready to leave, to turn right and leave. And they're trying to force their way into her car. There's 3 ICE agents here, one right by her door, one the front left of the vehicle, and one standing about 8 feet away, right? As she turns to leave, the officer that's the furthest away from us here starts shooting through the windshield at her face.
No! Shame! Shame!
Right there.
Oh my fucking God!
That's murder.
What the fuck? What the fuck? You just fucking... What the fuck did you do?
She's dead. She's dead. So I want you to watch it again. Now, ICE released a statement which is straight out of fucking Pravda. ICE released a statement which could have been released from fucking Hermann Göring in Nazi Germany. ICE said, "Oh, this aggressive woman made us fear for our lives, and she was using her car as a deadly weapon." Took him after the ICE agents. You just saw the video. You just saw the video with your own 2 eyes. Is that your assessment of this? One more time, I'm going to play it here. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to mute the audio, and I'm going to slow it down as I talk here. The fact that they're bothering to try to say that, maybe they probably had no idea that it was actually the whole thing was recorded. They probably had no idea. Well, now it's out there. Now you know these lying thug gangsters were doing exactly that. They were lying. They're full of shit. They're trying to protect their asses. That vehicle was in no way, shape, or form speeding at an officer to try to kill him. This is murder. That officer should be locked up for life. And I hesitate at even calling this ICE officer an officer. This isn't really an officer. This is a gangster with a fake badge and a gun. Go to fucking prison. Go to prison. You're murdering your fellow countrymen for what? What? You needed one more arrest to juice your fucking numbers? An arrest where the person would have had to been released anyway because there are no problems with their immigration status? And by the way, even if there was a problem with the immigration status, is it instant death on the spot? That's the fucking punishment for that? And again, they're lying. They're just lying. They're scumbags, they're liars. And let's remember, we're talking about an agency here that has been doing mass kidnappings and abductions and human traffickings, okay? There's no due process from these ICE Gestapo thugs. In fact, 22 people have already died in ICE custody, and that's an outdated number. I actually think the number now is over 30 people have died in ICE custody. You have literal criminals with long rap sheets joining ICE. We've covered on this show ICE assaulting an 84-year-old married couple. There's evidence. There's pictures. You could see this 84-year-old woman with her fucking head bleeding and her clothes drenched in blood. They tear gassed a baby. They shot a priest in the face with a pepper ball. This is who these people are. We've seen them run over people with their cars. We've seen them tear gas journalists and cops. They zip-tied naked kids at 2 o'clock in the morning and threw them in the back of a U-Haul van in Chicago. They deported a guy for having cologne because the name of the cologne was opium. So they pretended like it was actual opium As if anybody with real opium would walk around with a fucking label on it that says opium. This is fucking ridiculous. These are absolute clowns. They are vicious, violent clowns is what they are. We're talking about a group of people that deported a guy who was wrongfully imprisoned for 40 years. The story is almost too depraved to believe, but he was wrongly imprisoned for 40 years. They proved his innocence. As soon as he was released, they rounded him up and shipped him out of the country. They tackled a 79-year-old car wash owner and hospitalized him. We've seen them raid meatpacking facilities and farms and Home Depots and 7-Elevens. Guys, there's reason to believe they may have literally lynched a guy. Somebody was found in an ICE facility, which I call concentration camps. He was hanging, and he had his hands tied and his feet tied. And he was in ICE's custody at that moment, okay? These are the sorts of depraved, disgusting, satanic, vicious demons that we're talking about here. This is what ICE does. This is who they are. They deported a 4-year-old American citizen with cancer. They arrested a woman immediately after she gave birth. There was an American citizen who spoke Mayan who was arrested and held for a week because he struggles with his English. They've arrested U.S. Marshals. They arrested an American from Puerto Rico who was a veteran. They sent 288 people to a concentration camp in El Salvador. 90% of them had no criminal record whatsoever. Somebody got a tattoo, a mom and dad tattoo, and they were sent there. And these liars argued, no, that's a gang tattoo. So when they release a statement, just know, it is bullshit 99% of the time. And now we know it is, because they said, oh, it was self-defense. Oh, I was trying to protect myself. And of course, it wasn't self-defense. There was no attempt to protect. That was murder. What you just witnessed was cold-blooded murder. That we need to know that person's name, and they need to be locked up immediately. We're not just talking about like, oh, they need to be demoted. No. They need to be locked up immediately. And by the way, the protests are now growing. Good. Let them grow more and more and more. Because this regime of thugs, this fascist terrorist death cult, cannot keep getting away with this. They cannot keep getting away with illegally and offensively invading countries and kidnapping sovereign leaders. Okay? They can't get away with invading the U.S. with the U.S. military, as Trump has done. They can't get away with the most brazen, open corruption we've ever seen in our lives. They can't keep getting away with this. They can't keep ignoring court rulings as these ICE thugs have done and as Stephen Miller directly has done. They can't keep getting away with it. So now, by the way, you got these other regime thugs trying to like maintain order and shooting people at point blank in the face with fucking pepper balls. That's what's going on. I also want to show you this. So Prem Thakur says, sequence of events. One car zips out of the way. More agents pull up. One agent seems to gesture at the victim to leave. Another agent starts pulling at her car door. The victim then moves to start driving away like the car before it, and another agent emerges and shoots into the car and kills the victim. That is the exact chain of events. This is murder. It's not even close, okay? So here's the mayor. Here's the mayor, Jacob Frey, and here's what he says.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed.
More. Here we go. He's not done.
And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave.
He's not mincing words. Get the fuck out of my city. He's not mincing words. He's exactly right. Guys, this is fascism. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Trump has ripped up the Constitution. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He doesn't care about checks and balances. He doesn't care about law and order. He doesn't care about any of that. He doesn't. The rule book is out. It's all raw power. Why do you think he pardoned over 1,000 January 6th thugs who were criminals, who assaulted cops and shit like that? Because to him, if you're doing violence for me, you're great. You're A-okay. And that's what these ICE Gestapo thugs are. They're the fucking dregs of society. They're white nationalists and Proud Boys and Klansmen and criminals who want to do violence on behalf of Trump. And now they're murdering people in the street. And by the way, this government, what are they doing? They're partnering with Palantir and the AI billionaire tech assholes, and they're creating mass blackmail files on everybody. They're spying on everybody. Mass surveillance. They're going to have a blackmail file on all of us. This is what they're going to do. And so it's the Patriot Act on steroids, except they're coming after all of us. And these are the thugs who are going to enforce the regime's rules. No, get the fuck out of here. This is lawless. This is absolutely lawless. So that guy needs to be arrested ASAP. He needs to be found guilty and put away for life. And I feel horrible for this innocent woman who was murdered and her family. How many more innocent people have to get assaulted by these ICE Gestapo thugs for us to fucking realize they should be totally defunded? Nobody's been more vindicated than the abolish ICE people. Nobody's been more vindicated than them. We already have CBP, Customs and Border Protection. We already have them. And you created a new one that now is just Trump's stormtroopers, and now you've never seen a clear example that that's exactly what they are.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.